Hey everybody, this is Justin with Sillage Scents. Today I have got a first impression video for you of a fragrance I've been looking at, and it's been on my list for quite a while. It is a leather fragrance. I've been on a real leather fragrance kick, but it's one with a lot going on. It's a sweet, spicy, warm, cold weather fragrance that really highlights leather. And so that's what we're going to look at. This is a first impression because I have tested this a couple times, just sprayed it on my hand or my arm. I've probably worn it a full day wearing one time. And so this is definitely not a review per se. It's just kind of my initial impressions. This one is nice. And so I am talking about Salvatore Ferragamo UOMO Signature. And so this is again, according to Fragrantica, a leather fragrance. That's how they categorize it. I think that might be a little bit of a mischaracterization because it does feature leather, but it also features some other sort of dark, sweet notes. So this is obviously in the Ferragamo UOMO line. The predecessor, the original in the line, was kind of famously known to be a tiramisu scent, a sweet, gourmand coffee scent with a lot of projection, like a 12-hour fragrance. I personally have not worn that one. I don't even think I've ever even smelled it, but this one caught my eye because it has leather, and I've been kind of accumulating leather fragrances, the last several months since it's been cold. It all started with Philip Plein No Limits. That has been, definitely one of my favorite fragrances ever. And the way that leather is handled in that, it's sort of a sweet fragrance with a leather that permeates the whole fragrance. So I've been looking for similar things that are obviously different enough that they don't smell the same, but they use leather in a similar way. And so this one, again, this is UOMO Signature, kind of does use leather in a similar way. So I want to let you know about some of the notes and then let you know about my experience with this and something that surprised me with this fragrance. So with this, you've got in the top pink pepper, Italian mandarin, and grapefruit. And you definitely do get the pink pepper. It's a spicy leaning fragrance. There's some more spices in the heart that I think are kind of the dominant spices, but you get a little bit of that pink pepper, kind of that, slightly sweet pepper that's not very overpowering. And you get a little bit of a citrus blast, but the darker notes are already coming up out of the mid and the base. So you get a little bit of the citrus, but it's more an accent. And a lot of kind of darker fragrances will do that. They'll have something kind of sweet or spicy in the opening with some citrus. So this one does that. Then once you get into the heart, you've got cinnamon and cardamom. You've got cypress. So you have sort of the sweet, spicy character of cinnamon and cardamom. And those, I think, really make this fragrance, along with the leather and the coffee that we're going to talk about. And then the cypress, maybe I get that. It's, I guess, a little bit of an aromatic quality. I think I can pick that up. There is something kind of aromatic that I'm getting about it, and I guess that probably is the cypress. And then in the base, you've got tonka bean, leather, roasted coffee, and patchouli. I definitely get the tonka bean. I definitely get the leather. I'm just, as again, I've been testing this for a few days. I'm barely able to pick out the coffee. On Fragrantica, a lot of people have compared this to Halloween Man X, and to me, it doesn't smell like that fragrance much. That fragrance has a very strong roasted coffee note. To me, this one is kind of a sweet, spicy fragrance with leather used in a very similar way as the Philip Plein No Limits fragrance or the Oud 24 Hours Majestic Gold, which is a clone of Stronger With You leather. Those use leather in a similar way. And I would say that UOMO Signature, the leather in this fragrance is probably, 60% as strong as it is in the Philip Plein fragrance. So I really like this a lot. It's also got So it's got tonka bean, leather, roasted coffee beans, and patchouli. So I pick up the coffee a little. I definitely pick up the leather more, and maybe that's why Fragrantica calls it a leather fragrance. And then the patchouli, you get sort of that dark chocolatey. To me, patchouli is a very kind of mysterious fragrance, and you do get a little bit of that in the base. I know fragrances are very subjective, and the way that I pick it up is going to be different than a way that a lot of other people do. But the thing that surprised me about this one, the first couple times I sprayed it on, I thought, man, this reminds me so much of something. What is it? And then it just hit me. Oh, this reminds me so much of Armani Code Absolu. Code Absolu, which I've got this travel spray, like a 10 mil decant. Obviously, this, doesn't mean a lot in a travel spray, but I've used about half of it over the past year or so. And this is also a spicy, sweet leather fragrance with tonka bean in the base. This one also, I think, has some, it's got mandarin in the top. It's got vanilla, tonka bean, suede, and wood. So, there's not a lot of notes that are in common, but there is, I think it's the way that leather is used in this one, as well as obviously the tonka bean. Those two things or three things really caused me to see a strong similarity in these fragrances. So I went to Fragrantica, and I know you can't always rely on what you see there, but on the Fragrantica page, when you go down to this fragrance, UOMO Signature reminds me of, you've got the original UOMO, then you've got Halloween Man X, which I can kind of see, but not so much. And then the third fragrance is Armani Code Absolu. And so I do think that there's a real similarity there. I really like Code Absolu, and it's like a $100 fragrance for 100 ml, whereas you can get UOMO 100 ml for I think like $40 or something like that. It varies a lot. I've seen it 60 or 65, and I've seen it, in the $35 or $40 range. So this is a great fragrance. I look forward to spending more time with it. I can't really comment on performance yet. I haven't really tested it enough as far as a full day wearing enough. I have noticed that I seem to be getting somewhat anosmic, or maybe that's the wrong word. I think olfactory fatigue. I have been starting to get more and more these last few weeks. I think because I've been into so many strong fragrances, powerful, long-lasting, projecting, spicy leather fragrances. And a lot of those are just so powerful. I think they literally wear out your nose, olfactory fatigue. And so I think that's impacting the way that I'm perceiving longevity with some of these fragrances. So I don't want to comment on that yet with this one, but I can tell you a lot of people who have done full reviews on this fragrance have said it's a great performer. It's like a 10 to 12 hour scent. Remains to be seen on my skin, but I can tell you for sure, this is a good one. I really like it. If you like the sweet, spicy, leathery fragrance family, then I think you're really going to like this one, and the price is amazing. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I see more and more of you are subscribing. I really appreciate that. And let me know in the comments, have you tried UOMO Signature, and have you tried Armani Code Absolu? Do you see a similarity there? What about Halloween Man X? Do you think that those are similar? Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching.